So what do you do if you're speaking? You're on a roll. Everything's going well, but you can tell your audience is getting tired. Maybe it's a large convention, a large rally. People are standing and they're visibly getting tired. What do you do? Now, people can get tired standing or sitting. The main thing to do is create some engagement, create a reason for them to move. Anthony Robbins is a master at this. He can keep people in a theater, in a coliseum, at a conference of his, 10 in the morning till midnight, and they want more. But he does it by having them move constantly. He'll say, stand up, ask your neighbor about this. Stand up. Well, at least he used to say, massage your neighbor's neck. I don't know if he's doing that anymore. Stand up. Now let's walk across hot coals. Stand up and do some jumping jacks. He'll actually get people, if it's a long day-long event, doing physical exercise. He may have them dance and jiggle. I'm not going to dance for you, but he really mixes it up. Now, if you are in a corporate board meeting and you're having to speak to people and there are not enough chairs and you've got 40 people in a room that holds 20, I'm not suggesting that you ask people in suits and ties and dresses and high heels to start doing jumping jacks. What I do want you to do, though, is to be aware of how your audience feels at all times. It could be they're physically getting tired because they're standing. It could be they're getting really hot because you're speaking at an outdoor political rally and the sun is beating down and people are sweating and perspiring. You need to keep all of that into account. Sometimes you could be speaking in a conference center or hotel and the air conditioning is just too cold. You can tell people are physically uncomfortable. Sometimes the chairs they're sitting in are not comfortable. You need to be aware of all of that. And the most obvious one, if it's a long day affair and maybe there were other speakers before you, or maybe you're supposed to go for 2 hours, is people need a bathroom break. They need a snack break, a food break. So a good speaker has to constantly be thinking about looking at the audience, taking into account their physical comfort. Here's why. If a human being is uncomfortable, they're no longer thinking about what you said. They're no longer processing your ideas. They're no longer thinking about how do I remember the important points here and take action. They're thinking about how do I reduce my pain? How do I get this guy to shut up so I can go eat a snack or eat lunch or break for dinner or go take a nap or put a jacket on or take a jacket off or go get water. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is as true as ever. If someone is concerned about their physical well-being, they're not going to work their way up higher on that pyramid to think about intellectual learning and development and self-actualization. So you need to be aware of the physical state of your audience at all times. Now, I may do an exercise when I'm doing training. I ask people to stand up. Someone may have an injury, and I'll say, hey, you can sit down. That's perfectly fine. There have been times when I've been leading a conference or a seminar, and the room is so cold, I'll just say to people, we're going to take a 5-minute break here, and I'm going to go talk to the management and get someone to boost the heating in this room right now. Show you are concerned about the physical needs of your audience, and they will reciprocate. They will show you they're more concerned about you. They will pay attention to you. They will listen to you. Now, the specific situation of what happens if it's a large rally and there are people standing, and you can tell they're sort of doing this, or maybe some people are sitting down, it may be a sign you need to wrap things up. You may think that you're delivering the most fantastic information ever. It's so wonderful, it's riveting. But if you see a lot of people sitting down, a lot of people looking visibly tired, maybe because the day is much hotter than what people are used to, it's much more humid, then you may want to think about shortening it. Great communicators are constantly reading the audience. They're not thinking of their presentation in a linear way. I've got to go to point A, then to point B, then to point C, then to point D. Great communicators size up the audience. They're constantly calibrating and recalibrating based on what they perceive the state is of the audience. And great communicators can instantly figure out, okay, I was going to do 30 minutes, but I see people are a little tired, a little uneasy. We're already running a little late. I am going to do 20 minutes of material and early, still covering the most important points. And then I'll stay after and talk to people if they want more. A great communicator can do that. You think of it as almost like an accordion. You can expand if you need to go longer. You can contract if you need to go shorter, especially if there are specific physical needs of your audience. Being tired is one of them. Being too hot is another. Being too cold is another. Going too long without a bathroom break is another. Going too long without a food break, a coffee break, a water break, a meal break. All of these things are essential if you are leading any kind of seminar or workshop and you're speaking longer than the typical 10, 15, 20 minutes. If you respect the physical needs of your audience, you're much more likely to respect you by listening to you, paying close attention, really thinking about what you're saying, remembering what you're saying, and then ideally sharing your message with others.